Coming up on the pod this week, I talk about my trip to Providence, Rhode Island. Big tour recap episode, and I do want to promote the rest of the tour, as I always do. The biggest news, honestly, is that the Netflix Festival show this Friday, it's been sold out for a long time, but I just got word that they asked if I could add 10 tickets, and I said, you betcha. So there are 10 tickets available for the show in LA on Friday. I'm recording this the day of that you're seeing it on Wednesday, so hopefully tickets are still available. Let me just check real quick as I'm doing this to make sure they still are. Yep, still available. And so you can go grab those if you want to come to the show in LA this Friday. And then next week, I'm going to Portland, Oregon, that is, not Portland, Maine, May 10th through the 11th for 2 shows, both early shows, Friday, Saturday. Tickets are cooking for those, so if you want to come out, I'm just doing 2 shows. Love the space, love the venue. It's going to be great. And after that, I do Seattle, man. 4 big shows at one of my favorite clubs, Laughs Comedy Club, May 31st to the June 1st. To the June 1st? Dude, learn how to do promo better. Can't wait for those shows. We're doing 4 of them. Then after that, I'm doing the Brea Improv, June 6th, and then San Antonio, Texas, June 20th, and then Austin, Texas at the Creek in the Cave, June 21st to the 22nd. Stoked for those shows. Stoked for all these shows, to be honest. All that info is in the description. And let's start the ep. What's good, everyone? Hope you're having a good week. I'm fired up right now, man. I can feel the coffee running through my veins. I'm locked in, ready to party. And by party, I mean talk alone into a microphone with no feedback whatsoever. I do love doing this, though. I still love doing this. I don't care that it's not the biggest podcast in the world. I just love doing it because it's easy. I can do what I want. I don't have to wait on anybody's schedule. I don't have to get permission. I can just sit here in my apartment and yap. It's nice. I really like it, and I hope you guys like it too. And yeah, business is out of the way. There's nothing really to talk about. I know I got the big Netflix Fest show on Friday, which I'm excited for, and not really nervous for at all because it's just another show. You know, it's not like it's gonna be filmed and put on Netflix or anything. It's just me doing a headlining set in the festival. It's just a cool thing, and I don't find myself being very nervous for it, but it's just a cool honor to be a part of it, you know, especially with how fast it sold out. That was just really cool. So that's what's coming up, and I just came off a hell of a trip. Excuse me, as I'm burping into the mic. Crazy trip to Providence. I say crazy more so just because it was just so goddamn far. That's really all it was. It was my. I did the weekend, so I did. Typically last year I was doing a lot of one-nighters, which is like, you do the Tuesday, you do the Wednesday, or you do the Thursday, and then boom, you're on to the next city, and that's an exhausting life. I've talked about that before, where it's you do one show in Omaha on a fucking Tuesday, and then I drive 4 hours the next day to Kansas City. And then I fly out the next day after that. So it's very exhausting. So this type of situation, it's like, we get into Providence Thursday night, shows are Friday, Saturday, and then we leave Sunday. It's just a cleaner, easier process, right? And not as much running around. You can really settle into the city, explore the city a little bit, which I'll get into later about why I don't do that. But that's typically what people do. It's just the vibe is a lot more relaxed, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was my 4th time doing a weekend. Last year I did 3. This is my 4th time, and it was a smaller market for me, meaning it's not a Denver, not a Chicago, not a Nashville. It's like this is Providence, Rhode Island. It's a smaller market. So I was a little unsure of how I was going to perform. This was one of those cities that my agent got me, and she was like, hey, got you this. Go for it. And I'm like, okay, I'll go, but I don't know how well I'm going to do. But I knew I was going to sell some tickets because I was able to, I knew I had some people on my email list for Providence, just to kind of give you the inside scoop on how I gauge demand. For example, I've been doing my email list for years, and let's say that the higher end will be, let's say, like a New York and Chicago. I probably have over, well, I know I do. I have over 500 people on that list, right, in each city. And then a mid-level, let's say like an Atlanta or like a Nashville, there's like about 200 people on that list, right? Just to kind of give you guys a sense of it. Providence, there's like 60. So there's people. I got fans there. Don't know how many. But I've heard really, really good things about this club. It's called the Comedy Connection. And again, I've been a comedy nerd and a comedy fan for for years, especially in the last 10 years since I've been doing stand-up. So it's like I know all the clubs. I know what the good clubs are, and this is one of those clubs I've always heard good things about. So I was really excited, especially doing a weekend. It's just, I feel very invigorated doing these weekend shows, because to me, that's the peak. A weekend headliner, that's, outside of, doing, promoting yourself to then you do theaters. It's like you don't get bigger as a weekend headliner. That's the top. So I am thrilled to be a part of it. And also I'm excited for these shows just to be like anonymous. What I mean by that is, I've been talking about the LA show, the San Francisco show. It's just all these shows where I know so many people in the crowd and having to give myself socially. But, Rhode Island, it's like, dude, I'm just the comedian. I'm the comedian. You're the fans. Let's have a good night. There's no social obligations. It was just easy. And I was really looking forward to that. Just being anonymous, which, by the way, that's the hardest word to spell. Could you know how to spell anonymous? It's impossible. I spell anonymous so poorly that when I write it out, spell check is like, fucking beats me, dude. Smooth going there, man. Far as fuck, though. I mean, Rhode Island is just so far. You can't get there nonstop. My boy Nolan Culver, who went with me, who follow him, by the way, he's so goddamn funny. He flew into Boston and then took a train. So that was one way to do it. But I didn't want to do all that. I just wanted to go right into Providence. And went from LA to Chicago Midway, which is Midway, and then fucking dumb joke, and then Chicago to Providence. So smooth. Got a rental car, which is another Hyundai, which is that fucking sweet pickup truck I got for that college show. But it wasn't that car. It was kind of the opposite. It was a dorky, bright blue, like square. I can't get into the square cars, by the way. The the Kia or those cars, or like the Scion, just the square, the Cube. I can't get into it. I have driven one and I like how it drives, but I can't get into the style of it, man. I just can't. But I was whipping around Rhode Island in this little blue Cube, like a little Smurf running around. What y'all doing? Zip, zip, zip. It was nice. I like having a rental car. I'm done doing Ubers and all that shit. It's just I like doing the car. I'm team rental car. Get in about 10:45. Luckily, Rhode Island is you can get to like each corner of the state in like 30 minutes. So everything is 15 minutes away. No, actually everything's 12 minutes away in this place. I love it. Everything's 12 minutes. Airport 12 minutes. Downtown 12 minutes. So I land and I'm basically desperate for food. And, it was like 11:30, and I'm like, dude, slim pickings. But I always try to find the best possible food I can, that's not like Papa John's pizza delivery, right? So I was looking up we landed, I was waiting to board a D-plane. Good word. I found this Halal food spot that's open until 12, and it's a 5-minute walk from the Airbnb. I was like, say less. And the reviews, it had a 4.9. Now, typically, I don't go for like halal cuisine. It's not something I'm familiar with, right? But 4.9, I trust the people. Let's do it. Sure enough, I get there in time. I pull up, drop the bags off the Airbnb, say what up to Nolan, drive to the place, which turns out is inside of a gas station. So we got gas station halal in Providence, Rhode Island at 11:45 p.m. And again, huge red flag. Inside of a gas station, you just don't eat that food, especially on the road. Like, I'm trying to take care of myself. And I was like, ugh. But again, the reviews are in. I trust the people, okay? I'm a man of the people. 4.9, let's run it. I walk up and they say that they're closed. And I was like, ugh, tough. And I was basically like, hey, you can't make anything? I was like, can you just make me like chicken over rice? And she was like, no. She said, I can't do anything fried. And I'm like, great. I don't want fried. Just chicken and rice. Is there any chance I can have that? I'll tip you, like, please. And she said, I think, we can only do chicken tenders. Hey, that's the most fried. Hey, we can't do fried, but we can only do fried chicken. Like, yo, 4.9? Okay. And I didn't want to say yes because That's like the last thing I wanted to eat was chicken tenders, because at a comedy club, I'm going to be eating chicken tenders all goddamn weekend. But at that hour, I was like, dude, what am I going to say no? And then I got to find a new place. I got to find another gas station Indian spot. Like, dude, I'm here. So I said, you know what? Give me the chicken tenders. They said, you want 5 or 6? I said, give me 6. Let's go. And plus, I was already in the gas station, which, fun fact about me, whenever I get to a city, I go to a gas station and stock up on fancy waters. Fun fact about Willie B. I get Smart Waters, I get Essentia, I get some Pellegrino. I stock up, man, because I'm not about to use a Brita in a Airbnb, okay? What's in there? Where'd the water, how long has the filter been in there? Is this thing clean? Who's been coughing all over it? No, dude. Give me some water bottles with some alkaline and electrolytes. And I don't know what those things do. I don't even know what alkaline is, but it sounds fancy and I want it inside of my body. Okay? They give me the tendies, and I said, hey, can I have some I said, can I have some sauces? And they said, yeah, what kind? I was like, what kind do you have? And she said, red, green. Hey, I'm out. Red, green. I thought she was gonna be like ketchup, barbecue sauce. Now we got red, green. Green? What's green? What do you mean green? What's green? Green sauce? The fuck is that? I was like, dude, if she says purple, I'm flying back to LA. So I got red, green, and some random barbecue. And I ate the tenders, and they were fantastic. They were great. It felt like I was eating actual chicken. The red sauce was so spicy. Don't know what it was. Green was some chimichurri sauce. Sure, run it up. But they were good, dude. 4.9. I'm good with that. 5 stars. That's my review. Shout out. Woke up Friday. The Airbnb itself is pretty nice actually on the inside. It was one of those things where I was cutting costs a little bit. I booked maybe not the nicest one, where Nolan had like a pull-out couch in the living room and I had a bedroom. But turns out the pull-out couch living room situation had a door. So sneaky, we're in a 2-bed. Beautiful discovery. And the location wasn't the best, I gotta say. It wasn't like a bad neighborhood, but it was definitely a neighborhood that you want to be a little aware of your surroundings. And you know what it looked like? It looked like Goodwill Hunting. That's what this area looked like. And some people know what I'm talking about. It's just kind of that working class blue collar, a little bit dirty. People don't really seem that friendly. They're kind of just about their business. Like the dudes who were living in the complex, which it seemed like there were just a bunch of Airbnbs, honestly. But there was a little bonfire pit thing, and dudes in the complex were just kind of burning stuff. Just burning random things. No, there's no campfire. They're not cooking anything. They're just burning stuff. So maybe that will paint the picture of what kind of area we're talking about. Just some blue-collar, Irish Catholic guys burning stuff. Just to burn it. And they were cool. They were friendly. The plan was the first day we were gonna chill, go to downtown Providence, get some coffee, get some breakfast, 12 minutes away, and then do Newport, Rhode Island the next day, Saturday. That's the plan. Newport is apparently like one of the most beautiful areas in the country. It's very rich, very upscale. It's like where the Kennedys lived, just an amazing area. And I wanted to go on Saturday, do a little exploring. But the first day, we're chilling, got coffee in the cute downtown area. I got a flourless donut just because I was feeling it. Flourless, by the way, flourless donut tastes the same. I'm like, what does the flour even do? Because this donut tastes like a donut. So what's the difference here? Very late start though. I mean, dude, when you go from LA to the East Coast, bro, I mean, we're not waking up before 11. There's just no chance. 11 feels so early. Like it was 12:30 and Nolan wasn't up and I had to wake him up. I was like, hey, we got to go be people because the show, we have to leave the show in like 4 hours. And get back to the Airbnb, and I realized that there's no paper towels. And I was a little mad because have paper towels. Pretty simple. Just have them, right? And so I messaged the Airbnb lady, and this is the conversation. I said, hey there, really enjoying the space so far. Question, where do you keep the paper towels? Can't seem to find them anywhere. And she wrote back, "Hi, Will. I am glad you are enjoying your stay. I will ask Olu to bring you one." Who? Oh, Olu? Oh, good. Oh, glad he's around. Don't just say, no problem. We'll put one outside your door. Don't introduce new characters. Olu? Just this basement gremlin? Hey, Olu! Paper towels!
Yeah, no problem. My time has come. Here you go. Goodbye, I'm Olu. Do you have any raisins?
What? We never got eyes on Olu, by the way. We just came back. I just looked outside of the door and there was just paper towels there. So maybe it's the ghost of Rhode Island, but shout out to Olu, whatever type of being he is. Man, we had a good laugh about that. So Friday, Saturday are the shows. We had 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. First impression of the club is it was pretty dope. Like, it was one of those setups where it wasn't too big. It was a pretty small club. It sat 235, which is a great number. For context, I talked about last week Sacramento, how much I loved that club. That was like 240, and Cobb's was 400, right? And Providence was like 235. So it's an amount that I love because if you get 100 people in there and you seat them right, it's fire. Low ceilings. It was very well built. Cool, chill manager right off the bat, set the tone, which was very nice. He was like, yeah, Matt Rife was here last weekend. It was pretty crazy. I'm like, yeah, hey, it's gonna be a little different this time. And sales were he said they were unusually light for Friday, meaning they have a pretty good like club fan base that just comes to the club on the weekends, right? And he was like, yeah, usually the sales aren't usually that low. There was a bridge construction, so they shut down a bridge, and people are having a hard time getting over to this part of town, and because of the bridge traffic, and they have to go around and use a different highway in the bridge. I'm like, well, what? Okay, what? How is the bridge? There's a bridge. I'm selling less tickets because of a bridge issue. What the fucking what? But they this is a random thing. Because of Matt Rife being there, they built. What a funny sentence. They built a new bathroom in the basement because there wasn't a bathroom in the green room, which, by the way, that's like, I'm not the only comedian that's going to say this. That's a big pet peeve of us, because if there's no bathroom in the green room, that means we have to use the same bathroom as everyone else who's going to the show, which is so embarrassing and so weird, especially if you have fans. And I have fans, okay? Despite what some people think. I don't know why I'm saying that part. People know I have fans. Yeah, I don't want to pee next to my fans. It's weird. So they built a Matt Rife bathroom, and so I was the second comedian to use it. I was very honored. And also, another fun, interesting thing that no one would know about is this year I'm carefully planning my outfits for the shows. And here's what I do is I look up what the club looks like what the backdrop is, and I plan my shirt accordingly. So on the clips, I'm kind of popping out. Like, if it's a dark background, I'll wear a light shirt. If it's a light background, wear a dark shirt. Huh? You didn't think I was thinking about that, did you? I'm thinking about everything, dude. So if you see me on these clips, I'm like, you're gonna be like, damn, good shirt choice. Yeah, man, I did my homework. So the Friday shows, there was, it was pretty light. I think the first show was 70 people, second show was 60, which is fine. But for a Friday early show, I was surprised how low that was. First show was solid, not amazing. I'd say it was pretty good. Maybe give it like a 7 out of 10. It was some fun moments, but the crowd was very tame. Kind of felt just like an intro into the weekend. And it was like fine. I was like, yeah, that was fine. That was fine. Late show, I had high hopes for, because they were a lot wooier. They were like, woo, yeah, woo. So I was like, okay, this could be better. This should be better, right? And man, it was a rough show. Dude, one of the rougher shows I've had as a headliner. I can only think of one other one, and it was in Wesley Chapel near Tampa. There was one show that they were just unruly, and this was another one of those shows that was tough. And notoriously, if you know comedy, you know that Friday late, second show Friday, that is the hardest show of the weekend. And boy, was it. Dude, it was like, there was a lot of good people in the crowd, like they were stoked, but man, they were like, there was just a lot of chatting. There were some drunk people. My crowd work was like falling flat just because there was no energy. For crowd work to have fun and work, you need the energy of the room. You need the people to be like with you, like, yeah, dude, let's go. But they were kind of just sitting back, a little bit drunk, tired. It was just, the vibe was really tough, man. And next to me, there was this like really manly dude who looked like a, you know, like he was in the mafia or some shit. Turns out he was a firefighter. And I asked him, hey, you know, what's something about, you know, being a firefighter that no one knows about? Or I said something about, asked him a question, and he gave the most depressing possible answer. He brought up like this notorious fire in Rhode Island that was devastating, and he retired after that because of how devastating it was. And now I'm just on stage. You could hear a pin drop. And I'm like, okay. And at that point, I lost the whole audience. I lost full control. Because that was happening, and then people were also talking. I didn't know what to say. Dude, I was like, this was at probably like 30 minutes into my set. I mean, I even said in the microphone, I was like, man, I have lost control. And people who were my fans, they were kind of clapping and laughing, and it was a funny moment, but dude, it was struggle city. Lost control. I've never felt like that on stage, I don't think. Lost them fully. But I am a professional, and I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So your boy righted the ship. I leaned back in. I put my comedian hat on, right? And I fucking leaned in and started working this crowd and going back to material and like really working for it and selling it. And I turned the show around. And the last 20 minutes were awesome. Even to the point of like Nolan after was like, dude, that was so impressive. Watching you work that crowd back up. Because, I mean, dude, we were at like a zero. And I had to, in the last 20 minutes, it was like this, and we got back to like maybe 60 or 70. And it was fun. And they had fun. And I talked to the firefighter after. Not weird. I appreciated him. He appreciated me. The vibes were good. And this will not be the last time I deal with this either. Because the Friday late show, as I continue to headline, it's like, that's going to be the hardest show. So this was such a good experience for me to have. Because it doesn't get harder than that, really. And so I'm very proud of myself for what I was able to do that night. And people even at the meet and greet after were like, yeah, that was a weird show. Everyone was like, that was a weird show. Weird audience, weird show. So there was no like, yeesh, what were you doing up there? Everyone agreed, nah, man, that was just a fucking weird audience. Which, again, feels really nice. So I feel validated. I feel seen. Great experience to have. I feel, again, like this year, I'm already feeling so much more comfortable, so much less stress. And I'm welcoming these challenges of being a headliner. Now I'm a weekend headliner, so I'm welcoming these challenges, and I'm ready for these types of experiences, highs or lows, all a part of it. After the show, we went back and watched some playoff basketball, watched my Dallas Mavs win, and big shout out to Nolan, dude. That's my fucking guy, man. Nolan's always been a very good friend, but when we started touring together, he just became just one of my best friends ever. He's the best. He sat and watched this game with me. He didn't give a shit about it and found a way to like give a shit. He was cheering louder for my team than I was. Talk about being a down friend. Like, dude, that meant so much to me. I thought that was so cool. Love it, man. Love being able to do the road with my best friends. It's the best, dude. So fun. And we were on the couch watching, just bringing up random stuff, and he casually brought up this viral thing that's going on. Dude, out of nowhere, he said, oh, man, have you ever... he said, have you heard the audio of P. Diddy having sex with Meek Mill? Huh? It threw me off so much. And this is, I guess, a story that's going viral and people are talking about, but I knew the P. Diddy stuff was going on, but the fact that I was so thrown off. And he knew the story, so he was comfortable saying the words out loud. Yeah, P. Diddy having sex with Meek Mill, allegedly, by the way. I was like, excuse me? I had to just wrap my head around two rappers from my childhood having sex with each other. I was like, dude, what? That's like him being like, hey, you want to hear audio of Jay-Z making out with Nas? Whoa. And no, I don't want to hear it. I don't even believe it's necessarily true. People on the internet do. Him bringing it up blew my mind, dude. So I tried to somehow find in myself to go to bed after that and get some sleep before a big day tomorrow. So we woke up. The plan was to wake up, get some coffee, and then go to Newport, explore the town, explore the city. And we didn't do that. We absolutely didn't even come close to going to Newport. I looked at the time. I was like, you know what? We're not going. This makes no sense. Because it would be rushed. We'd have to rush there, thinking about time the whole time, the whole kind of experience, drive back, rush to get ready. It was just not a vibe that either of us wanted to do. So bailed, zero exploring. Guys are burning stuff. We're going to the same coffee place. Fuck it. I'm here to work, bro. I'm not here to explore. I'm not on vacation. I'm here to work. And that's what I'm doing. So the Saturday shows, what a difference. Holy shit. Saturday early show was almost sold out. There's about 200 people in that bitch. And boy, you felt it. It was electric. It was such a fun show. Oh my God, man. So fun. I was like, oh, this is why this club is so great. Now I get it. Oh my God, I had so much fun, dude. So fun. I talked to this one dude in the crowd. His name's Jaron. Shout out to him. You're going to see the clip of this. He was giving me just gold. He was like, had a funny name. He went to prison, was open about it. He was a drug dealer. His brother was with him. It was like, dude, I was getting gold and he was the fucking man. It was such a fun moment. I can't wait to edit that clip because it was so fun, man. And he was so cool after. Just the best dude, man. Shout out to him. Incredible show. Top to bottom. One of my favorites. We did the meet and greet after the show outside in the cold, which is hilarious. I felt good because I was so hot from the show, so I was in a t-shirt and I was fine, but everyone was like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. Let's take a picture. People had turn their flashes on. Dude, it was so funny. But man, that show was fun. Holy shit. Saturday Late Show was another great turnout. There was like 125 people in there. Like double Friday early. It was sick. It was another great show. Like, again, back-to-back great shows. And I had another like really fun crowd interaction with just this three like stoner drug guys, which is just, oh, I love those type of dudes. They're like, oh, what's up, man? Yeah. Oh, sick. That's my wheelhouse right there. And it was just, your boy was sharp. I was firing on all cylinders. Just really proud of myself. Again, just feeling like I'm like a good headliner. That's what I felt like. Just really, and I'm not saying that to be any sort of bragging type of energy. It's literally just giving myself credit for doing a good job, which I think is important. So I was very happy with both those shows. Oh, dude, there's a woman in the crowd who was a part of a bachelorette party, and it was like she was a little bit older. She was on her second marriage. This was her second marriage bachelorette party. Oh, I just remembered something I said that was funny. I don't think I'll have a clip of this, but she had a sash on. And it's funny for a second marriage, like a second bachelorette party. I think I said something like, yeah, the first sash says, getting married, and the next one, the second sash says, fingers crossed. So I had fun with that. But dude, you can tell that it wasn't her idea to go to the show. She was kind of like, yeah, it's my bachelor party. And I was like, yeah, they planned it. Like, not stoked to be there, which is so weird for me because I'm like, ew, you don't want to be here? This sucks. And you could tell. She was on her phone pretty much the whole show. and like and kind of like whispering, talking to people. And she's like, I could see her the whole time. At one point, she starts doing, as I'm talking, which I'm, pretty loud on stage, she was doing voice to text. And I was like, I stopped the show. I was like, hey, what are you doing? You're doing voice to text right now? And she was like, oh, no, what do you, I'm like, why do you think that's okay? It was so weird. Like the lack of awareness. I'm like, yo, I get that it's your fucking bachelorette party, but like, yo, you're here. You're at a show. She may as well answer a call. Very bizarre. People were also kind of weird and drunk at that show too. This other girl off to the left with like this weird dynamic of her and some guy, she was like flipping me off. And I was like, what? It was right after the bachelorette thing. I was like, are you flipping me off right now? And she was like, what? I'm like, why would you flip me off? She said, oh, and she was drunk. She was like, I'm just trying to match your energy. I'm doing what you're doing. I was like, what am I doing? What? What are y'all talking about? Ladies, get it together. She was so drunk that the guy she was with, they fucking left like 30 minutes into the show. She wasn't talking or anything, but she was just like drunk and doing weird shit. Like, ladies at shows, get it together. Voice to text? Mind-blowing. But again, it was one of those shows that it was like, those were the only issues. Everyone else was like fucking ready to rock. So fun. I had such beautiful interactions after, man. People, like the fans who were there, were saying such nice things to me, being so genuine and so nice. Met some podcast fans. Shout out to you guys. Love meeting you in person. And it's funny, you go to some of these cities where they're almost thanking you for coming. They're like, hey, thanks for coming to Providence. I'm like, yeah, thanks for having me. It's a funny situation because I'm like, thank you for coming to the show. And they're like, yeah, thank you for just making it out here. Which is a really nice thing to say. And we did it. Got paid, said goodbye, got out of there. Side note, here's a little comedy inside scoop, which I think you guys are interested in. So I got paid, and so the way the deals work, I can kind of gauge how much money I'm going to be making based off ticket sales, because tickets are $25, and I can do the math of what the deal is, how many tickets are sold, the whole thing, so I know what number I'm going to walk out of there with, which I think is really important because a lot of these comedians, they're like half paying attention, they're maybe have some drinks, and they're not even looking at the check or the breakdown. They're just like, okay, thanks, goodbye. Me, I'm very in my right mind. I am like locked in, and I want to make sure that all the numbers look good and everyone's held accountable and we're on the same page. And so they cut me the check, and it was like lower than I was expecting. And I was like, oh, like, am I gonna have to like fight for something? And I realized that the tickets were actually $23 with a $2 service fee. So I was getting the cut of the $23 tickets, not the $25 tickets. But that $2 difference was like a $700 difference. So I got this very great check. I made great money this weekend, but it was because of this discrepancy. That's my fault. It looked like I lost $700. So I got this, amazing check for doing, it's like a dream come true to get this type of money for doing stand-up. But it's like, I was like, oh man, because I felt like I lost money. I fucked myself with my own expectations. It was a bummer, but the trip wasn't a bummer. It was an amazing trip. If you're at the Providence shows shout out. I can't wait to go back. I had so much fun there. And look, man, I'm locked in. I feel so good right now. I feel so excited for the rest of the tour. I love the set that I'm doing. The set that you're going to see on tour that's basically going to be what my first special will be. So I'm just excited for you guys to see it, as I continue to sharpen it up and make it as tight as possible. And I'm just happy also the longest travel is done. That East Coast to West Coast flight, boy, was it long. Woo! Stopped in Chicago again. I bought some dinner. You know what my dinner was? 2 Lunchable packs and a protein bar. That's the road for you. I haven't eaten Lunchables since I was 10, but I crushed them. Happy that that's out of the way. But anyways, again, the tour dates, the Netflix show in LA, tickets are still available for that. There's 10 of them left. Hopefully they still are up if that's something you want to go to for your sake. And then I will again Portland next week, and then Seattle, and then we're doing Brea, and then San Antonio, Austin, and we're keeping this shit going. Plenty more cities to be added. And yeah, dude, please subscribe to the pod. Leave some comments of anything you want to tell me. Let me know about. And I hope you guys enjoyed the tour recap stuff. I really enjoyed doing it because it's kind of like a travel log in a way. And appreciate you being here. Have a good rest of the week, and I'll talk to you next week.